Om Sahanavadu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Maheshwara Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chinmayam Vyapiyat Sarvam Trailokyam Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. It's very fascinating to know that space is growing. Because you could logically think that if I were to want to cover all of space, I just put one brick in front of the other and I just keep going and then I'll get to the end of space. Yeah. But space is growing. So we'll never get to the end of space. Or if you think of time in terms of one moment after another moment after another moment, and then all of time can be measured in moments. But interestingly, time can't, because time can, but there's something beyond time itself. And so, because we live finite lives from birth to death, we tend to think in terms of solving our problems with finite things. So I'll do this action, this course, this treatment, and it will solve my current problem. And since that's the logical way in which we think, patana karanam, it becomes our downfall. Because what we actually want is infinite. And no amount of adding finite things together is going to get us infinite. And when we hear this in a Vedanta class, it makes such perfect logical sense. And then what do we walk out of the class and do? Find a finite action and expect the result to last. It's you. I remember once I was with someone and they had just started a diet. And so they had dieted for 2 days. And then they had gone to the gym. And this was the 3rd day that she came back from the gym in the morning. I was staying in their house at the time. And then she said, "Don't I look thin?"
said, yeah? This is going to work. I'm just going to be thin. After 2 days of diet and 2 days of exercise, you're not going to see the result of thin, but also an assumption is made that this diet is going to work and I'm just going to always be thin. It really doesn't work that way. Because no finite action is going to bring an infinite result. Now with exercise, we can see it so quickly. Even at the level of the mind, we don't see it so quickly because we'll do some course and then we think, now I know. Now I don't know. Because if I stop using it, it's not maintained and I lose it. I used to be, I emphasize, used to be a good cook. Why is it no longer true? I haven't cooked in ages. If I don't use it, it's gone. Why? Finite action, finite result. I'm only good at it because I keep doing it. I can't even say I'm good at it if I stop doing it. Used to be excellent at driving. Well, I don't know about excellent. Used to be able to drive with confidence. I wouldn't now. It used to be when I first got to Hong Kong and they said, can you bless my car? I used to say, keys. I drove Porsche, Ferrari, anything. Now I bless the car. Blessed. Wouldn't dare take the keys now. Finite action will give you a finite result. But even at the level of this, we assume it's going to last. I did satsang, now bas I know it. No. I did 1 year japa to get something, now no. The minute you stop, it starts declining. That's why maintenance is used for everything, because finite action reaps finite result. And then we get bored of doing the same thing again and again. But if we don't do it, we're not going to get the result. Patana karanam. What's my downfall? I have to do it, but I'm bored of doing it. I don't want to do it. It's so tiring to do it. That's the patana karanam. And then we just end up in this ocean of affections. And then we lost because it's, reaction after reaction after reaction, and we're just reacting to other people's reactions. So we know the problem. What's the problem? We rely too much on action. So, as someone said the first day, stop acting cannot be the solution. Because we have to act. So what's the solution? Bhagwan Ramana Maharishi tells us in verse number 3. Ishwararpitam nechaya kritam Chitta shodakam mukti sadakam Ishwararpitam nechaya kritam Chitta shodakam mukti sadakam. Why do we do action? Singapore is seasoned Vedantic students. Y'all can answer this question. Why do we do actions? Worldly people will say to get what I want, but y'all are not worldly people. Y'all are spiritual seekers. Why do we do action? To get moksha. Oi, Singapore. Correct, correct, correct. All answers are correct. I'll give you a clue. This is not a trick question, and I'm giving you a clue. We just sang the answer. Everyone looks at the book. This is why you need the book. Huh? Chitta Shodakam. Why do we think we're doing actions? Because I want to eat, so I need money. So to put bread on the table, I am doing actions. No, that's not why you're doing actions. Chitta Shodakam is why we are doing actions. Purpose of action is this. We don't realize it. We use actions to, I have so many desires and I want to fulfill all my desires. Or we use action for, I'm bored, I just need something to do. Or we use action for, I don't want to think about one thing, so I won't think about it if I do something else. Are those the reasons we should be acting? Is that the purpose of what action is supposed to be? When we're not understanding the purpose of action and we use it for something else, then naturally, as it said in the last verse, Gati Nirodhakam, we'll keep hitting a barrier. Because we want to go forward, but the instrument we're using is not the right instrument, and so we don't make progress. When we use actions for what it's meant to be used for, we will very quickly make progress. So yes, why are we doing actions? Moksha is the answer, but actions cannot give us moksha because finite actions cannot give infinite results. What will finite actions do? Give us finite results. But if we do the right actions, number one, with the right attitude, number two, both are important, right action plus with the right attitude, then the result of that action is that the mind becomes pure. In a pure mind, knowledge reveals itself. In knowledge, there's no doing. Remember we spoke about human doing and human being yesterday? In knowledge, there's no doing. Why? We feel like, when I go to a maths class, I feel like I'm doing a lot. Yeah. Even in your satsang, Swamini, you make us think a lot. We have to keep answering your questions. But actually, remember, Upanishads have already told us, our nature is chit. What does chit mean? Effulgent, illuminous. That's my nature. And in effulgence, in illuminous, there is all-knowing. Knowledge is my nature. No, I feel very dumb very often. That's not your nature. You are experiencing human doing. In human being, in being, if we actually get to the point of just being, knowledge reveals itself. Not like I'm Google and I know all things at the same time. But when I need, that reveals itself to me. So, step one, purify mind. Step two, attain knowledge. But it doesn't happen sequentially. Okay. But to understand it, we talk about it like it's sequential. Actually, it happens the more the mind is pure, already the more we understand. Even if mind is not pure, But for a short period of time, under the influence of some sattva, maybe in the presence of a great Mahatma, or maybe I sincerely did a vrata, or maybe there was, something happened and it induced temporary vairagya in me, even for that short period of time, I will have clarity of thought. So it's not sequential. It's not that it will only happen at that point in time. Whenever the mind is pure, I will already experience my being. Right? It's like the dirt is the covering, and even if I make a small hole in the dirt, I can see through. Okay, so how to purify the mind? This verse is telling us. Ishwar Arpitam. That's all we need to remember. This in itself is the main gist of this verse, the main gist of these 3 verses. Ishwar, the Upadesa started with the word Karturagyaya. There it's creator. Ishwar is similar. This idea of lordship, of master, of that which creates, sustains, destroys, that which protects. Ishwar. Yeah? More every day we'll say Bhagwan, because now we don't say it as much. But more traditionally, they would say Ishvara, even in everyday languages. Arpana, offering. Arpana means offering. So like when we do puja, that act of giving the flower, the naivedyam, the water is arpana. Offering to Ishvara. What? Action. But much more than action as well. So we'll go through this now. So it's like to purify ourselves, if you think, to purify body, then we usually use soap and then water. If we don't have soap, water will still work. And without water, cannot purify. Right? The water is the essential ingredient. The soap is bonus ingredient. Soap we can choose which fragrant, which brand, bar, liquid, all that we can choose with soap. Water? Water is water. Right? So now to purify our mind, I mentioned right action and attitude in action. The right action is the soap. The attitude of the action is water. So the attitude is far more important than the action, which even now if you do management seminars, they'll say the same thing. Attitude is 90%, action is 10%. Self-help now today, they'll say how important mindset. Now they don't use the word attitude. Now they use the word mindset. But as per Dharma Shastras, right action. We must know what is right from wrong, beneficial from unbeneficial, and the idea of choosing the action with the sense of what is dharma? Very general rule of thumb. The more selfish the action it is, the more dirt it creates in the mind. The more selfless the action is, the more it's purifying us. Now, are we completely selfish? Few. Completely selfless? Very few. I'm somewhere in the middle of that. Hopefully more towards this side. If not, then I use this as my gauge of which action should I do. The more selfless action will be the better option. This selflessness contributes to purifying the mind. The more selfless the action, the more it purifies the mind. But now, I want to go surfing in Hawaii. I want. Bus, I want. There's absolutely no need, but I want. And why only in Hawaii? You can surf anywhere. No, has to be Hawaii. Then say maybe it's dangerous, maybe it's this. No, I want. Now there's no selflessness in this action whatsoever. So does that mean I can't do the action? You can do. Why? Surfing in Hawaii doesn't hurt anyone. Now the second ingredient is very important. If the first ingredient is there, that's going to be purifying. But if that first ingredient is not there, then you definitely need the second ingredient to purify. And most of us are doing desire prompted actions. So now how to purify the desire prompted actions? Ishwar Arpita. What does this mean? Do whatever it is you want to do. Important as best as you can. And then, whatever comes, I accept. That's the first bit of Ishwar Arpita. I do everything. And then whatever comes, I accept. Example given is if you are working in a factory that is making cars. So to make the car, it will have to go to so many stops. They have to make this bit, then they have to put that bit, and then they have to, so technically correct I am. Then they have to put another bit, then they have to do another bit, and then they come to you, and what do you have to do? You have to put the glass on the door for the window. Then it goes to the next bit, and they do their bit, and then they do their bit, and then they do their bit. Then, at the end of the day, do you take the car and drive home? No, because you only did that one job when there were so many jobs to be done. And then let's say every month they paid you a certain amount, then will you get that certain amount? Sometimes no. During COVID, so many companies asked employees, shall we lay off or reduce amounts? So I did the job, but I'm going to get lower. Ishwar Arpita means whatever I get, without complaining, important bit, I accept. If there's lots of complaining, it means I haven't accepted. Most likely I'll get whatever payment was the contract, but it doesn't always work out that way. So the first bit of Ishwar Arpitam, I did my job. If the result doesn't come quite per what I wanted, I accept. Just like prasad. This is called prasad buddhi. And why am I not determining my result, and why the action does not determining my result? Because it's just one piece in a bigger puzzle. The second bit of Ishwar Arpitan, second bit is more important. Actually, no, first bit's also important. When doing the action, to think, this is for you. Which action? Any action. Dedicated. Today we don't use the word dedicated often, except if you're dedicating a song. right? Even radio stations now no more. Everybody has Spotify playlists. But most of you grew up in the generation where we had radio stations, and then somebody would ring up and dedicate a song to so and so because it's their birthday and give some sweet message. And then the song would play. Dedicated means this is for you. Or today, some people, instead of birthday present, they will give you receipt. I've given donation in your name, dedicated to your name. And because what to buy anyone anymore, really? Everyone has everything. Let you get some punya of giving charity. I gave the charity, but I dedicated it to you. That's my present. Actually, it's such a beautiful present. I'm giving you punya. So, while doing the action, if I am thinking, this is for you, then when the result comes, I'll automatically think, thank you. Because I did it for you, then whatever the result comes is from you. First step is maybe while doing the action, I don't remember to say, this is for you. Ishwar Arpitam. Oh, which Guru Arpitam, Krishna Arpitam. Whatever name it is that is our Ishwar Devata, we can use. And sometimes we get so busy, right? So many things we have to do. That's why at the end of the day, because I forgot to remember Bhagwan all through the day because very busy people we are. And the phone keeps beeping. How to remember Bhagwan? And then people keep talking to me and I have to answer them. So at the very end of the day, the whole day I dedicate to you. Yeah. Which covers everything I did in the day. Ideally, every action, this is for you. It's sometimes a little bit hard. So then at the end of the day, just like at the end of the puja, we sing Kayena Vacha Manasendriyeva. Whatever I did, whatever I didn't do, forgive it all and take it as yours. Actually, take it as complete. But here, because we saying Ishwar Arpitam, and this bit's important. These prayers we should learn. Karacharanam Kritam Va Kaya Chamma. And in this one, this Kaya Navacha, because these ones are saying lots of mistakes I made. But despite all the mistakes, Bhagwan, this is for you. It's like when the kid comes having cooked something and it's got 2 holes in it and it's got one. And we happily accept it from the kid to encourage them. We present Bhagwan with our actions that are so full of flaws. This is for you. It's such an excited face. But we are adults, so we are like, this is for you. So in Hong Kong, I explain this Kayana Vacha every puja when we do it. And everyone now knows it in the Hong Kong Center because that's the mantra that gets chanted the loudest. They haven't learned any other mantra in the puja vidhi. They don't paying attention sometimes which mudra, what thing. Kayena Vacha. Bhagwan will forgive us. He'll forgive us. He'll forgive us. Bhagwan will forgive us. But if at the moment of acting, I think, this is for you, I'll just do it better. Even the first day when I borrowed these earpods, immediately the tissue came out. Why? It's for you. Otherwise, when I'm using it, do I think to clean it, make it nice, then? But I'm giving it to you automatically. Little bit nicer I'll make it, because I'm giving. Even just to you, if I'm giving it, I'll do. And if I'm giving to him, if I was doing the action 60% with attentiveness, and suddenly I think this is for you, automatically my attentiveness will be 80%, 90%. And if the bhav is strong in me, it will go straight to 100%. If I've trained my mind to have that bhav. So, when I have not been able to remember, at the end of the day at least, offer the day. But the aim is for every action. Ishwararpitam. And you see in our Vedic tradition, it's there. When we finish the meal, we say, Annadatta Sukhi Bhava, or thank you. You don't say it in thank you, but the idea is they touch. Then when they fold that banana leaf, right, it's that respect that I've already eaten, gratitude for. This is now complete. I remember the one who gave it to me. When we finish the class, we finish it with a mantra, whether it's dance class, music class, satsang. Traditional Gurukul, the day ended with a prayer. We end with Arti. It was just inbuilt into the culture that when you when you begin something, you remember Bhagwan. When you finish something, you remember Bhagwan. So we can remember Ishwararpitam. And if you keep doing it, it becomes habit. Ishwararpitam. So often I'll get into the car with people and they'll touch the dashboard where Ganeshji is sitting or where. Yeah. Very interesting. So many people will do that and it's such a lovely habit to have. But when we're getting off. Even while getting off, you got me here safely. Ishwararpita. It kind of completes, right? A lot of time we remember to start with it because we want it to go well. New house, we want it to go well, we do puja. Marriage, we want it to go well, we do puja. New job, we want it to go well, we do puja. Then, forgot. To remember, limited action, limited result. So it has to be done again and again and again. And so that divinity has to get invoked again and again and again. So how to invoke that divinity constantly? For you. Now maybe we can't do it in all things, but we can definitely make it a point to do it in some things. So one of the examples that Acharyaji gave when he took this text for us is, the things that create the most reaction in us is when people are talking to us. Actually, work doesn't tend to create as much reaction in us. So when people are saying things to us, that our mind gets a little bit more agitated. And people agitate us more than work agitates us. So every interaction with a person, then we say to Bhagwan, this is for you. What does that mean? So let's say they say something so nice. Oh, you're looking lovely today. In your head, outside you should very politely say thank you. In your head you should say Ishwararpitam. Because otherwise we think, wow, I'm looking so nice. I chose the right outfit. I knew people would be so impressed with this. We definitely think these things. Or if they'll say, you're wearing that, then we become very... Outside you should say, be polite. Inside, Ishwar Arpitam. When praise comes, Ishwar Arpitam. When insult comes, Ishwar Arpitam. Now, some of us are very beautifully talented people. When insult comes, we remember Ishwararpita. When praise comes, we put it in our pocket and keep it very safe. That won't work at all. It has to be for both. When we find people comforting and inspiring, reassuring, Ishwararpita. Grateful that such people are in our lives. And offer that gratitude and that interaction to Bhagwan. There's plenty who are irritating, or boring, or what else do we find people? Critical, nosy. So many things we react, right? When we're discussing with a person. And whatever we find, whatever we're feeling, Ishwar Arpita. We're not offering the person. We're offering the exchange. But more importantly, we are offering what we're feeling. Now this becomes very beautiful because what causes the dirt in our mind? What we are feeling causes the dirt in our mind. I get angry, that's mala. I get jealous. I get arrogant, proud. I get pedantic. I get critical. I get judgmental. I get biased. I get attached. It's these emotions in our mind that become the dirt. So what are we offering? Bhagwan, please, before it settles down and becomes solidified dirt in my mind, Ishwar Arpita. All the good things, all the praise, all the love, all the affection, Ishwar Arpita. All those that torment me, Ishwar Arpita. Suddenly our mind becomes filled with His presence. Because if I keep offering Ishwar Arpitam, then the most common thought I am thinking is Ishwar. Like I said, you can say Krishna Arpitam, Guru Arpitam. That presence of Him gets felt more than the irritation I'm feeling for the person, or the pride I'm feeling for myself, or the excitement I'm feeling for the newness of this experience. Or even if I'm feeling still very excited and I'm saying Ishwar Arpitam and I'm still feeling very excited, at least He's also there along with the excitement. Or I'm feeling very angry and I say Ishwar Arpitam, but the anger is still very much there and I have to offer it again. At least Ishwar's Kripa is still felt to some extent because I'm thinking of Him. Along with the anger, at least that is still there. Right? If you put water in dirt, the dirt little bit dilutes. So often when we think about cleaning a vessel, some of these very, like you can't reach inside, sometimes they're too small, or sometimes like ink, it's very stuck. Then how do we clean it? You just keep pouring and pouring and pouring and pouring and pouring, and finally it overflows from the amount of water that's getting poured into it until that vessel is clean. You might have heard this example before or seen this example being done in the kitchen in our traditional homes. So with our mind too, maybe the anger is there, maybe the jealousy is there, maybe the attachment is there, but we keep pouring into it that awareness and that remembrance of Bhagwan, and then slowly the dirt starts to dissipate. Maybe not completely go away, but at least it starts dissipating. It doesn't solidify and become stuck. So, it is our responsibility to consciously choose good actions. But even if we are following desire-prompted actions within the limits of Dharma, we can still practice the second step of Ishwararpita. The purpose of karma, to purify the mind. Desire is already not purifying the mind, but to help even that desire-prompted action, we invoke that after I do this action, surrender it. While I'm doing this action, surrender it. Until I get to the point where I'm able to surrender the desire. Initially, desire is so strong, I'm not able to surrender desire. So I'll act on the desire, me going to surf in Hawaii. At least while surfing, surrender the surfing. When I practice surrendering while doing the action often enough, I will grow to be able to surrender the desire. But very often we want to skip. We study in Vedanta that desire is given to give us misery, and desire is bondage, and then we want to give up the desire. That's like step 3. First you have to give up the outcome after doing the action. Then you have to dedicate the action. Then only you can get anywhere hope of being able to renounce desire. It's like you want to run 100-kilometer marathon tomorrow. How much running have you done today? None. Okay. Or pick up 100 kilo, what's those things called? Yeah. And how much can I pick up today? 3. We have to build up to be able to do these things. Giving up desire, you have to build up that muscle to be able to give up before we can give up desire. And giving up desire prematurely when we're not able to causes more problems than having the desire. Because if I keep saying I'm giving up the desire now, I gave it to Krishna and I wasn't yet ready to give up that desire ends up being suppressed. And the minute we suppress something, it comes out in very unhealthy ways. Rather, I have the desire, own that I have the desire, find a dharmic way to deal with the desire, and then surrender while doing the action. Desire, when we force it, actually when we force anything, there's what's the word? Yeah, there's that pushback. Like when you force yourself not to eat something you really like. Yeah. Then what happens is you eat so much of it. Yeah. I don't particularly like to exercise. Then I was telling somebody the other day, so I'll do 3 times a week. And my very loving teacher was very inspired to make me do every day a week. After 2 weeks, I was like, I'm not exercising anymore. When you force yourself to do more than you have made peace with, it will rebound. So, should we give up desires? Definitely. But make sure you're strong enough to give it up. So first, make that muscle of renouncing, giving up, strong. Then give it up. So first step is do the full action, then remember him. hoping he'll give you what you want, but if he doesn't, okay. Otherwise, we do the whole action and then we're waiting for him to give us what we want, and if he doesn't, we'll say, why? But, no, no, no. Whatever he gives us, we have to say, okay, thank you. This is perfect for me. Even if I cannot see it right now, I trust. Then to remember him during the action. Then remembering him even before the action, and remembering him is enough. Action not needed. We get to that point. When we practice these steps sufficiently, with full faith, we can get to this point. And it's not even that I'll have to give up the desire when I do this. It will just go. Because if we're constantly remembering Bhagavan and the mind is constantly being purified, it will just go. That urgency of fulfilling it anymore just dissipates. Because it's His grace. I'm not doing. I gave it to Him. And He's far more efficient than I am. So it's gone. In fact, sometimes I went, what did I want? No, really, I'm sure you maybe not with a big desire, but you would have experienced it with smaller ones. Sometimes in a conversation, you think, oh, I want to tell my story. My point is so beautiful. But somebody else spoke, and then somebody else spoke, and then what did I want to say? You forget, right? Yeah. So if it's possible with small things, it's possible with big things, but we have to start with the small things and grow and get better till we're able to do it with the big things. Okay, so usually we talk about giving up desires and surrendering to the Lord. But it's the surrendering to the Lord that's the important bit. Even if I keep my desires, surrendering to Bhagavan is the important bit. If I just try to give up desires and I don't surrender to Bhagavan, where will the mind go? I'm holding on to something. I don't have anything else to hold on to, but I want to let this go. Patana karana. Firstly, one desire will get replaced by another desire. Or I'll fall so low into tamas that I don't want to do anything. Yeah. The surrendering to Bhagavan is the important bit. If I'm able to let go of the desire and I'm surrendered to Bhagavan, I'm still holding on to something, and I'm holding on to what's better. If I don't have the surrender to Bhagavan bit, the desire is keeping me in rajas, which is better than tamas. So don't let it go. So I should hold on to desires? No! Hold on to Bhagavan. But until that hand is strong, don't let go of desires. We all have, no, one dominant hand. Our dominant hand is holding desire. The weak hand is holding Bhagavan. So it slips, it gets tired. We have to make the stronger hand hold Bhagavan. So if desire slips, no problem. Ishwar arpitam, nechaya kritam. The way to succeed, the way to progress is to be able to dedicate eventually every breath. We start with action is finished. Now I've dedicated it, whatever comes. Then, while doing the action, this is for you. Then, desire comes. No need this desire, I desire you. Then, every moment, on the in-breath, Shri Ram. On the out-breath, Shri Ram. Like Hanumanji, who could open his heart and from every pore is singing Ram. There's this cute story of Hanumanji. Or maybe I should keep it for Sunday. Okay, never mind, I'll tell you. Hanumanji was going to the bathroom. All of us have to go. Somebody passing by heard Shri Ram, Shri Ram, Shri Ram. But they also heard bathroom. So they came to see. And they looked at Hanumanji and said, how can you say Bhagwan's name while doing this? This is total ashuddhi. Like, what kind of bhakta are you? So stop chanting. Hanumanji stopped chanting. But every cell in his body chanted. Whatever he was doing. Every moment of every day, whatever he was doing, was dedicated to Shri Ram. We will give very best. But actually, we have to give every bit of ourselves. The ugliest bits of ourselves. We have to give him even that. Because only he can take and transform it. Sometimes we hide our ugly bits even from ourselves. We don't want to see my vanity, my pride, my arrogance. I don't want to see. Sometimes we see it, but we deny it. No, 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 no. It was just a one-off. Normally, I'm not like that. Sometimes we see it and we pretend. We think we're fooling other people, but nobody gets fooled. So much energy we're putting into pretending. Rather put that energy into surrendering. Take, Bhagwan, take. Which part of me? The worst, the ugliest, the yuckiest bits of me. Please take. Ishvara Arpitam is we give the action, but actually we feel we're doing the action. Right? I did. What did I do? Gave such a good class. Or whatever else it is that I did. Yeah. During COVID, so many people started painting. Then everyone would send me the picture of their painting. Very nice. Why? Because I did. See. And what I found really entertaining was they wouldn't be able to paint without copying. So they copied another picture. So when they show me their picture, it looks exactly like the one they copied. but I did this one. I copied. But no, I don't feel I copied. I feel I did. Or I'm doing. I'm working at Bloomberg. There's the sense of doing. So what really should we be surrendering? This feeling, Ishwar Arpita. This feeling I'm surrendering. And we invoking, Bhagwan, please don't let me do. I royally muck up everything. You please do. But initially, we shouldn't lie saying he did. I did. And this feeling now, Ishwar Arpitam. In spirituality, Satyam is divinity. When we talk about Sat, Chit, Ananda, and even that Ekameva Dvitiya Brahman, Sat. Why? Because even in our journey, when we are thinking about ourselves in our own mind, we have to be brutally honest. I feel like I have done. I am jealous. I am selfish. I have desire. We have to be so honest. Maybe not with anyone else, but we definitely have to be completely honest with ourselves. Because we have to surrender it. If I feel you doing, I'm not doing, and I don't surrender it, and the whole time I was actually doing, it didn't get surrendered. It's still mine. It becomes mala. If I think, no, I'm not jealous. I'm so sweet. I'm very kind, you know. Then that jealousy never gets surrendered. The mala stays. I need to own it. I need to offer it. That's why in the Vishnu Sahasranam or in Gurudev's names, all these beautiful names of Bhagwan. To that one who is compassionate, I offer my salutations. To that one who is compassionate, I offer my heart, which is not at all compassionate. To that one which is pure, I offer all my impurities. To that one which is Sat, I offer all my delusion. Actually, the names are to be contemplated on and to make me aware of where the lack is. And that Namaha, I'm giving it to you. To that one which is fearless, Abhaya, I offer all my fear. The Namaha there is, take my fear. Now, in the whole, like it's not just a ritual. People will say religion and all these rituals. It's not just a ritual. When done with understanding, it's incredibly purifying because I become consciously aware of what it is that I want to offer to the Lord so that it no longer belongs to me. So that He can take it and He can transform it into that which is His. Yeah. Those traits that I am honoring, I invoke that in me, and I am offering to you what's stopping me from having that beautiful trait that is yours. So, Ishwar Arpitam. We offer the very sense of doing. And then we offer the very feeling of me. In Puja Gurudev's commentary, he always has little I to represent the ego and big I to represent Atma. Paramatma Atma. Jivatma is small I. The feeling of me is limited. And so I offer me. So little I can become big I. If I don't offer little I, even though it's little, it's a block to big I. I won't go. Bhagwan gave us freedom, free will. You choose. You choose what you want to think, you choose who you want to be. The best thing we can choose with this choice that we have is I choose to give you my choices. You choose. Until we choose that he chooses for us, he won't. In the beginning, Arjuna was complaining and complaining and complaining and complaining. Bhagwan didn't say anything. He smiled. No, that's too big a smile. Small. Prasanna eva is the word used in chapter 1. That's all that's said about Krishna in chapter 1. Full chapter 1 is Arjuna complaining. Till verse 11 of chapter 2 is Arjuna complaining. Finally, Arjuna says, okay, you tell me, only then Bhagwan talks. Even I spoke about Draupadi day before, yesterday. Only when she screamed, Krishna, you help, nobody else is helping. And that is what she said in her head, huh? She actually in her head says, nobody else can do now. You my only refuge. Only when she gave him her choice, he took over. Only when Arjuna surrendered, he takes over. There was this nice story once I heard. There was this gentleman, no, not gentleman, trying to be sadhu, not quite there yet. And he had not eaten 2 days. He wasn't able to find any bhiksha. Then, third day, he got bhiksha. So, you know, when you're very hungry, then you eat so much. So, after eating so much, that's why I said not sadhu, trying to be sadhu. And now with this beautiful feeling of full, it's really a nice feeling of full. Very nice sleep comes. Then when it's a nice warm day, after eating, definitely you want a nap. So he was just about to fall asleep under a very nice shady tree. And this person was walking past a dobi and he had his 2, 3 donkeys and he had all these cloths on top of his donkeys. And then he comes near this man and he said, you are a sadhu, you're supposed to serve the people. I have forgotten something. You just watch my donkeys for me. I'm just going to run and I'm going to go get it and come back. And he was thinking, who's going to watch donkeys now? I know this is not my job. They're your donkeys. They're your problem. And he nicely went to sleep. There was no dhobi there to watch the donkeys, so the donkeys nicely went off with all the clothes. So you can imagine now when the dhobi comes back and the donkeys are not there and the clothes are not there and this man's sleeping. Good for nothing leeches on society, aren't they supposed to be doing seva? So he starts yelling and screaming at this man. So then he woke up from his sleep with someone yelling and screaming at him about my donkey. And he said, how dare you treat me like this? What is your donkey got to do with my business? And the fight escalated. And remember yesterday, reaction meets reaction meets reaction. And then they start punching each other. Because things get very, very much in. And in between this, almost sadhu screams, Bhagwan, help me. Then another pang he gets, and then he also hits, and then he is now black and blue everywhere with some strands of hair missing, and he is totally lying. And he had such a nice bhiksha, such a nice nap, and now he is totally beaten. And then he's sitting there thinking, Bhagwan said, yoga kshemam vaham yaham. He didn't look after me at all. He said, patram pushpam, nothing. He let me get beaten. He's so upset with Bhagwan. You let me get beaten. And so his grace, Bhagwan comes just at that point in time. He said, don't now come and give me darshan. Where were you when I needed you? He said, I kept trying to do, but you kept doing. You would scream, hey Bhagwan, and I'd try to come and help you, but then you'd punch. So, okay, you do. Then he'd punch you back, and then you'd scream, hey Bhagwan, then I'd try to come and help you, and then you'd kick. So then, okay, you do. This is what we do. Bhagwan, help. Then, no, I can do. We don't even give him a chance. For as long as we are asserting, he will let us do. Only when we truly, completely say, Ishwar Arpita. And whatever you decide now, I accept. He will do. And so this incredible honesty, have courage to have incredible honesty, to see the tricks that the mind keeps playing, and to surrender every one of them, and then surrender just all of me. And then someone thinks, shortcut, I'll just surrender all of me. There's no shortcuts. Remember that muscle is not strong until you work it and make it strong. To get to the point of, I surrender all of me, you have to have practiced, but know the goal. And we invoke Bhagwan Ramana Maharishi's grace that we can imbibe his wisdom and live it. And as I mentioned on the first day, Upadesa is a beautiful composition, and we've just done the first section on Karma Yoga. We invoke Gurudev's grace because I am but a parrot repeating his wisdom. And when I gave this topic, act, don't react, I didn't stop to think which verses are there in Upadesa. And then I got to Singapore and realized there's no react in these verses. And so thanks to you, listening so sweetly, it forced me to contemplate even deeper on these beautiful verses and see them from a different angle. So, invoking his grace, that we imbibe more and more of what is said in the scriptures. Om Tat Sat. Any questions?
When we have a overwhelming sense of gratitude, could that be interpreted as Ishvara?
Overwhelming sense of gratitude. Is that Ishwararpitam? Pretty close. It's pretty close to Ishwararpitam. It's recognizing that he alone is giving and he alone is doing. And that feeling of smallness and the recognition of his vastness. It's pretty close. It's not technically the same, but it's close enough as a seeker. Sometimes we don't have to be technical.
One more question. There are people, especially our youngsters nowadays with a lot of low self-esteem, anxiety, and things. So you had mentioned earlier that don't keep praise in your pocket. That also, surrender to him. But isn't it important for such people to actually keep praise in their pocket and remember that they are more worthy?
So she's asking people with low self-esteem sometimes need to remember that they are praised. So that maybe we shouldn't give away praise to Bhagwan. No. When we have low self-esteem, we have to surrender that. The feeling that I am not good enough, this I surrender to you, Bhagwan. If somebody else criticizes, the criticism I surrender, and I am criticizing myself. So I surrender this self-criticism also to you, Bhagwan. It's not that I got too much criticism, so I have to hold on to praise. No, no. Surrender all the too much of criticism also. We don't need to hold on to anything except Him. In fact, when people have very low self-esteem, they won't accept praise. They won't accept it. But they'll accept criticism. So surrender the criticism, surrender the praise. The surrendering of both works more efficiently because they have trouble accepting praise.
Any advice for children who are reactive and what we as parents
When children are reactive,
when they're not living with us anymore, they are facing situations and in that moment they are reactive.
there's no lack of knowledge that is available when people want it. But there's phases of life. And youth is definitely a phase of life where we're very reactive. So sometimes you have to allow them to go through that phase of life. We can say gently, softly, it's okay, beta. You can be calm even if they're doing that. But we went through the phase, no? That vasana a little bit has to get exhausted. So sometimes we want them to be where we are without walking the journey that we walked. Sometimes we have to remember that they have to walk to get to where the good view is. You think of it as a hiking trail. You have to do the trail and then you get to the nice view, right? Of course, you can take helicopter and then just get to the view, but then you don't have stronger legs and fresh air in your lungs. Yes.
Superimposing this whole concept to non-duality, like our consciousness.
Ishwararpitam from an Advaita point of view. That's the question? Okay. Advaita Vedanta completely acknowledges that as long as we are identified with the body, we are living in a world of duality. To be able to experience Advaita, we have to disidentify with the feeling of I am body. Since I am feeling I am the body, I'm in Dvaita only. So Ishwararpitam. The more I do Ishwararpitam, the more I feel the presence of Bhagwan within my own mind and heart, the more I connect to that feeling of divinity, the more I think about it, the more I become it, until I become it and I feel that oneness, and then there is nothing left to offer because I am just being that truth. Thank you. We'll conclude with Shanti mantras and then a few very short announcements. Please do listen. Then we'll do Arti and Guru Dakshina. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukhabhag Bhavet Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om